So, in this story called New Friends, we're going to talk about a story that happens in a new place with new friends. Now, I have a question though to ask you. Here's what our outcome's going to be. We're going to say, can I predict or can I think about what the outcome or what the ending of the story will be for New Friends? Now, if we look on our page, you can maybe try to guess what the story is going to be about or how it might end just by the title. Just by the title. Can you guess what our story is going to be about? Now, I think I saw Kinsley. What can you guess our story is going to be about?
Well, I've read this before. So I think it's about, like, a new girl. And
Okay.
another girl that has become your best friend.
I think that's a good thing. She's going to guess that this story is about maybe a new girl who's going to become best friends. Now, if you remember the story we read about yesterday, our story was all about that too. We were reading about, remember the two little girls? One of them was shy, but Chloe was a good friend to her. That's really awesome. Mila, get your seat quickly, please. So, let's think. I'm going to pull up some of our vocabulary words that's going to be in our story today. Now, our first sentence says, John taught Matt some Spanish words that he had learned when he visited Spain. Ooh, Spanish. Raise your hand if you're in Spanish special. Yeah. I think Spanish is such a cool language. Can somebody give me an example of a Spanish word? Mila.
Hola. Hola, son hola, hola, ¿cómo estás? Estoy muy bien, gracias. Buenos días, buenas noches. Luna. Luna is blue.
Wow, Mila. Thank you for that song. That was awesome Spanish words. That was a really good example. So let's read our next sentence. When we say the pledge to the American flag, we are promising to obey the laws of the United States. So our word underlined here is pledge. Ooh, who thinks they know what a pledge is? Dawson.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America.
That's
And
right.
to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
That is so good. That is what the pledge is for the flag. But can you guess what just the word pledge means? What did it say when we pledge allegiance to the flag? Sophie. Valentina, help her out. Pay attention? That's a good one. I think it kind of means like a promise. We could say, we promise to be a good citizen of the United States. Sophie, stand up for me, please. Okay, so that's a good example of the word pledge. Yes, Vera, you may. Now I have a few other vocabulary words I want to talk about. We have the word Sue pretended to play the piano by pressing her fingers on the table. She pretended. What does pretend mean? She pretended. Evelina. Yeah. She said, you don't have the real thing, so we can pretend. Kind of like we use our imagination. Lisa, can you think of a time when you've used your imagination? Who else can think of a time when they used their imagination? Lisa. Oh, maybe when you have a dream. That's a good example. Let's read our next sentence. This is good. Is the phrase that Anna explained in the play. What does the word phrase mean? Ooh, a phrase, that's a new word. A phrase. Any guesses, Abby?
I think I just typed
Yeah.
praise. What sounds like praise?
Phrase does kind of sound like praise. That's a very interesting observation, but do we think we have a guess what phrase is? Kinsley? Frisbee, not quite. Kind of sounds like that word. Praise. Lisa? Yeah, take a guess. I'm going to give you this one because this is our very tricky word for today's story. Phrase means that it's a group of words. So like we just read the group of words, good. That is the phrase or the group of words. So let's take a look at our story. On page 16, who can tell me where we live in that picture? Abby. Yeah, in the United States of America. That is one of the countries labeled on our map. But I have another question for you. Who sees what's below the United States of America? You can read that little place right underneath it. Oh, I like how you're not calling out. I see lots of good hands raised. Michael, can you read?
Mexico.
Mexico. So, where do you think our story is going to take place? Can you take a guess? Where do you think it's going to take place, Janelle?
Mexico.
Maybe in Mexico? But what about the United States on the top? Do you think it could happen in the United States as well? Maybe. Okay, so one last question. By looking at the picture on page 17, do you think this is a story, Mila, that could really happen? Or do you think this is maybe a fake story? Raise your hand. Do you think this story is pretend or real? Just raise your hand. Valentina. Real. Why do you think it's real? Evelina. She thinks it's fake. Ooh, why do you think it's fake? Just a minute. Okay, I have an idea. Let's do this. We're going to think about this question. Do you think this story could really happen by looking at the picture? I want you to take 10 seconds and quietly just think to yourself. Think in your head. Maybe some reasons why this might be fake or pretend. Okay, so close your eyes. Let's think. I see everyone concentrating really well. Okay, now what we're going to do, open your eyes. We're going to talk to our table partners. I want you, one person to think why it's real, and then I want the other person to think why this story might be fake. And you're going to talk back and forth about the ideas you just thought about. So go ahead. Nazar and Dawson, you guys can talk together. And Tinsley and Ilya, you guys can talk if you think this story is real or fake. One of you is going to be real, one of you is going to be fake.
My name's Andrea and
Really good, you guys. Okay, so here we go. Raise your hand if you think this story is going to be fake. Ooh, raise your hand if you think it's going to be real. Wow, okay, so I see this table right here. You think it's going to be fake, and you think it's going to be real. Can you tell me, Elizabeth, why you think it's fake?
We don't
story. We're just talking about it with each other. Could you tell me an idea? Let's take a guess. Good job, everyone. Let's listen for Elizabeth's answer. You ready? What's your guess? Why do you think it's fake? Could somebody else help her out? Why you think the story might be fake? Ooh, Kinsley, why do you think the story is fake?
Yeah, they're not real pictures.
They're not real pictures. Ooh, that's very interesting. They're drawings of pictures. Why else do you think the story might be fake, Evelina? Sorry.
This is fictional.
Oh, because it's fictional. Okay, it's a good guess. Now, why do you think it's real? Uriel, you thought it was real, right? Why do you think this story could be real? So it looks like it could be. Maybe there's like a real building on our cover picture. I think it looks like a school. Why do you think it's real, Vera?
Because they live in Mexico, and Mexico is real. And the drawing is like real.
Okay, I like what Vera just said. She just shared, put your hands down for now. She just shared that because the story's in Mexico and maybe the United States, this could be a story that really happens. Good job thinking about different ideas. So, everybody let's put our books in reading position. Yes, Michael.
Why not the word Mexico?
All right, let's see. I see lots of friends in reading position. Now, I'm going to call on someone, yes or no, who is ready to go. Zoe, make sure you get your reading book for me. Ooh, Abby book's ready to go. Will you stand up, Abby, and read nice and loud? Yes. Awesome job, Abby. You may have a seat. So, Abby just said it was Anna's first day of school in America. She sat at her desk and watched the boys and girls. They laughed and talked quietly all around her. Anna sighed. She could understand only a few English words. She knew the American children would not understand her Spanish. Hi, said a pretty girl with curly red hair. Anna knew that word. Hi, she replied. The girl had been talking. Anna just shook her head. I no speak English, she said. The girl looked puzzled. Now, I was walking around the room, and I saw a few friends who were following along with their fingers and listening so well. So good job. So, let's think. Who can tell me who the new student was from what we just read? Uriel. Anna. Yeah. And what happened? They got a new student, right? But what's different about this new student? What's different? Honor.
The new student speaks Spanish.
Yeah, the new student speaks Spanish. So I think I have a guess where she might be from our cover picture.
Mexico.
Very nice. So let's keep reading. Let's see. I also saw Lisa sitting so nice and quiet. Will you read on page 19? Stand up nice and loud. Mullins. And how did Mr. Mullins just start the class? What's the first thing they did? Can you help me out, Nizar?
Do the pledge.
Yeah, do the pledge. And we do that every day at school. Right over there is our Christian flag on the wall. And one last question. Does Anna know how to do the pledge? Does Anna? Think about the name. Aiden.
No,
No, why not?
because it is her first time being in America.
Yeah, you got it. She moved, right? And she could really only speak Spanish. So this was her first time being in a Christian school in America trying to say the pledges. So let's turn to page number 20 and see what happens. Dawson, will you stand up and read page number 20? Make sure books are in reading position. Go ahead.
Mr. Mullins spoke to the class in English. He called Anna's name and held up some books and supplies for her. Anna hurried to the front of the class to get the book. As she carried them to her desk, the girl with the curly red hair smiled at her. Then Mr. Mullins began to teach the class.
Good, you can have a seat. Evelina, will you pick up the next paragraph? Stand up nice and loud.
For a little while, Anna took a bright picture of her schoolworks. Then Mr. Mullins came to her desk and held up Anna's paper with some problems on it. Said something to the lighthouse girl, picked up her chair, up to the next paragraph.
Good, you can have a seat. Janelle, will you continue on the next line that says, Anna, Mr. Mullins said. Stand up nice and loud.
It's in the same page. Anna, Mr. Mullins said, this is Christy. Anna, looking at the girl, yes, my name is Christy. The girl said, sure, the girl said, she showed Anna around. The class was doing working too. She quickly finished all the problems. Done, she said.
Awesome, you may have a seat. You can rest your books for a minute. So, what happened here was Mr. Mullins came to Anna's desk and handed Anna a paper with some math problems on it. It said something to the redheaded girl. She pulled up a chair next to Anna. Anna, Mr. Mullins said, this is Christy. Christy? Anna asked, looking at the girl. And so the girl ended up helping Anna do the math work. So, what did Mr. Mullins have at the beginning for Anna? Because she's a new student. What did he bring her, Lisa? Yeah, the math work. Some school books and supplies. So, what does Mr. Mullins ask Christy to do? What does Mr. Mullins ask Christy to do? Thea, do you have a guess? Make sure you're following along, yes ma'am? Okay, let's see, Susie, help Thea out.
To help her.
Yeah, to help work on her math paper. So what did Mr. Mullins ask?
To help her.
Yeah, to help her with the math paper. So let's go into our next page, page 21. Cool. Let's see. I see some friends already in reading position who are ready to go. Sophie, you're nice and quiet. Will you stand up on page 21 and read?
Like Christy explained, Anna nodded. See, she said. Christy and Anna worked together the rest of the morning. It is time for lunch, Christy said at last. Time for lunch. Anna repeated. See, Christy pretended to eat a sandwich. Anna laughed.
part because Anna couldn't really understand the English yet. Christy pretended to eat a sandwich. That was one of our vocabulary words, pretend. And Christy helped Anna realize, oh, it's time for lunch, right? So we have one more page. I'm going to read page 22. And let's put on our listening ears. Ready? And we're going to see what happens next. That afternoon, Mr. Mullins handed out music books to the class. Our school program is only 2 weeks away, he said. We have learned so many of the songs, but we still have a lot of work to do. Anna liked to hear the class sing, and she knew some of the songs in Spanish. Mr. Mullins asked her to sing one to the class. Would you like to sing Anna's song in the program? Mr. Mullins asked the class. Yes, sir, was the answer. Next, they worked on Bible verses. Mr. Mullins wrote a verse for Anna to learn. Then he read the verse very slowly to her. Anna looked at the strange English words. Mr. Mullins read the verse again, one phrase at a time. Anna repeated each phrase, but she did not think she would remember the words. I'll help you learn the verse, Christy said, so you may rest your books. Now, I have some questions to end. Who were Christy and Anna? Valentina. Yeah, the new characters. I like that word you used. And what is the setting for this part of story? Remember we talked about setting. That's kind of like the place that the story's at. So where are they at in this story? So, yeah, the school. And how does the setting or the place create a problem for Anna? What was Anna's problem? Elizabeth. Yeah, she didn't understand English yet. She only understood Spanish. So one last question. Do you think that Anna, in the next part of our story tomorrow, will be able to learn her Bible verse? I like how quiet it is in here. Very nice raised hands. Adelaide, what do you think?
Yes.
You think yes? Ooh, okay. Well, it'll be interesting to see. So everybody put your hands down, put your books on your table, and here's what I want us to do. I want you to give me a thumbs up if you understood the story. Thumbs in the middle if you kind of understood it, or thumbs down if it was not good and you didn't get it. Let me see those thumbs, everyone. Oh, Adelaide's got double thumbs up. Elizabeth's got double thumbs up. Awesome. But okay, some middle, some middle. So we'll work on it more tomorrow. That way we can end the rest of our story. But right now, I want you to... Janelle, I want you to close your books. And I'm going to call you by which row is quietest to put your books up. Ooh, I see some nice rows. This is going to be so hard. Row 3, go ahead. Very nice work. Nice and quiet.